They lived louder, burned brighter, and walked closer to the edge than anyone else. For decades, the world believed their wild lives would end in tragedy, long before old age ever arrived. And yet, in 2025, these icons of rock and roll are still here. Some are still filling stadiums. Some are quietly living in the shadows. And a few will make you stop and whisper to yourself, "Wait, he's still alive?" This is not just a list. It's a journey through living history. 18 rock legends who defied the odds, outlived their critics, and continue to shape the heartbeat of music in 2025. They are survivors of chaos, of addiction, of scandal, and of time itself. Some of them are still sprinting across stages in their 80s. Others have chosen quiet lives far from the spotlight. And a few, you might be stunned to discover, are even still alive at all. So let's begin our countdown and see which legends of rock and roll are still standing today. Number 18 is Bruce Springsteen, the man the world calls the boss. Born in 1949, he rose from the working-class streets of New Jersey to become the poetic voice of America's heartland. His anthems, Born to Run, Dancing in the Dark, Thunder Road, didn't just top charts. They told the stories of ordinary people chasing extraordinary dreams. Springsteen's concerts became the stuff of legend 3-hour marathons of sweat and soul, where every lyric felt like a lifeline. Decades of relentless touring never dulled his fire. Even in his 70s, his 2023 and 2024 tours proved he could still command stadiums packed with tens of thousands. Now, in 2025, Bruce Springsteen stands as one of the most enduring figures in rock history. Not just a survivor, but a symbol of resilience, authenticity, and the unbreakable spirit of rock and roll. Number 17 is Iggy Pop, born in 1947 and forever hailed as the godfather of punk. With the Stooges, he ripped rock apart and rebuilt it into something raw, dangerous, and unforgettable. His stage antics were legendary, rolling across broken glass, leaping into crowds, screaming shirtless into the void. Many assumed such chaos would take his life decades ago, but Iggy endured. He battled addiction, defied every expectation, and kept coming back, each time as unfiltered as before. Even in his 70s, he continued to perform with the same manic energy. Still shirtless, still untamed. His wiry frame and snarling voice became proof that punk never wanted to grow old, and somehow, neither did he. In 2025, Iggy Pop remains as unpredictable and alive as ever, a living reminder that rebellion doesn't fade with age. Number 16 is Robert Plant. Born in 1948, the golden voice of Led Zeppelin. His soaring, mystical vocals turned songs like Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lotta Love, and Kashmir into anthems that defined an era. On stage, in the 1,970 seconds, Plant was the archetype of the rock frontman, bare-chested, hair flowing, commanding the stage like a pagan god of music. But his journey was marked by tragedy as well. The death of his young son and the loss of drummer John Bonham forced the end of Led Zeppelin in 1980. Many thought Plant would fade with the band, but instead, he reinvented himself, embracing solo projects and collaborations that explored folk, blues, and world music. Even today, he continues to tour, his voice transformed but still carrying that otherworldly power. In 2025, Robert Plant remains not only a relic of rock's greatest dynasty, but a living testament to reinvention and resilience. Number 15 is Jimmy Page, born in 1944, the mastermind who built Led Zeppelin's thunderous sound. Before forming the band, he was already one of London's most in-demand session guitarists, laying down riffs for countless records. But with Zeppelin, he unleashed his full genius, dark, heavy, and mystical. Armed with his Gibson Les Paul and sometimes even a violin bow, Page turned songs like Whole Lotta Love, Black Dog, and Kashmir into epics that blended raw power with eerie beauty. On stage, he looked like a sorcerer, conjuring riffs that seemed larger than life. After the band's breakup, Page lived more in myth than in headlines, occasionally resurfacing for projects but never chasing the spotlight. His riffs, however, never stopped echoing through generations of guitarists. In 2025, Jimmy Page lives quietly. Yet, his presence looms as one of rock's greatest architects, a man who proved that 6 strings could shake the world. You'd think they'd have stopped by now. Decades of fame, fortune, and chaos should have silenced them long ago. Yet many of these legends are still on stage because the stage is home. For Springsteen, it's life itself. For Iggy Pop, it's rebellion. They don't just perform, they survive through performance. And as we move higher on this list, the reasons only grow more surprising. Number 14 is Brian May, born in 1947, the brilliant guitarist of Queen. With his homemade red special guitar, he crafted the soaring riffs and harmonies that gave Queen its unmistakable sound. Songs like We Will Rock You, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Somebody to Love wouldn't be the same without his layered, operatic guitar lines. But May was more than a musician. Long after Queen's rise to fame, he returned to his studies, earning a PhD in astrophysics. He also became a passionate advocate for animal rights and the environment, proving that his vision extended beyond the stage. Even after Freddie Mercury's passing, Brian May carried the band's legacy forward, performing with Adam Lambert and keeping Queen's music alive for new generations. In 2025, he remains a rare blend of rock star and scientist, reminding us that brilliance can shine both under stage lights and among the stars. Number 13 is Roger Taylor, born in 1949, the driving force behind Queen's thunderous rhythm. As the band's drummer, he powered classics like Radio Gaga and Another One Bites the Dust, but his talent went far beyond the kit. Taylor's sharp, raspy voice often cut through Queen's harmonies, and he even stepped up as lead vocalist on several tracks. After Freddie Mercury's passing, Taylor joined Brian May in carrying the torch, touring the world with Adam Lambert, and proving that Queen's music was far from finished. Beyond the stage, he pursued solo projects, always chasing new sounds, never satisfied with staying still. In 2025, Roger Taylor is still hitting the drums with force, a reminder that the pulse of Queen and the pulse of rock itself continues to beat. Number 12 is Pete Townshend, born in 1945, the explosive creative force behind The Who. He wasn't just a guitarist, he was a visionary who turned rock into theater. With his trademark windmill strums and guitar-smashing finales, Townshend brought chaos and drama to the stage in a way no one had seen before. As the songwriter behind anthems like My Generation, Baba O'Reilly, and Won't Get Fooled Again, he captured rebellion, disillusionment, and the restless energy of youth. The Who became legendary, not just for their sound, but for the raw power of their live shows, where Townshend always stood at the center, brilliant, volatile, unforgettable. Despite battles with addiction and the toll of hearing loss, Townshend never stopped creating. In 2025, he remains one of rock's greatest storytellers, proving that behind every crashing chord lies a truth about the human condition. Number 11 is Roger Daltrey, born in 1944, the commanding voice of The Who. With his powerful vocals and magnetic presence, he turned songs like My Generation and Behind Blue Eyes into declarations of raw emotion. On stage, he was unmistakable, swinging his microphone like a lasso, striding with the confidence of a man born to lead a crowd. But Daltrey's road was far from smooth. Years of relentless touring strained his voice, and surgeries threatened to take it away forever. Yet each time, he came back, determined to keep singing. Beyond the music, he dedicated himself to charity work, raising millions for cancer research and children's causes. In 2025, Roger Daltrey remains a fighter, his voice weathered but still powerful enough to echo through arenas. He is proof that rock and roll's roar can endure long after most voices fade. Number 10 is David Gilmour, born in 1946, the soul-stirring guitarist and voice of Pink Floyd. His style was never about speed, it was about emotion, stretching each note into eternity. With soaring solos on Comfortably Numb and Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, Gilmour made the guitar weep, whisper, and roar, all within a single phrase. After Pink Floyd's turbulent breakup, he carried the band's legacy forward with solo albums and breathtaking performances, including his unforgettable concerts at the ancient ruins of Pompeii. His music blended introspection with grandeur, proving that rock could be both fragile and monumental. In 2025, Gilmour continues to create and inspire, not as a relic of the past, but as a painter of soundscapes whose work still moves millions. His guitar remains one of the most recognizable voices in rock history, haunting, timeless, and utterly unique. Why keep going after decades on stage? For many, it's legacy. These songs became the heartbeat of generations, echoing from vinyl records to streaming playlists. Fans still fill arenas, chanting every lyric back to their heroes. But here's the twist. Some legends don't just stay for the applause. There are deeper reasons, more unexpected, waiting as we climb higher in this list. Number 9 is Roger Waters. Born in 1943, the sharp-edged visionary behind Pink Floyd's most ambitious works. As the architect of The Wall and Animals, he transformed rock into theater, mixing personal pain with political fury. Waters wasn't just a bassist, he was a storyteller who used music to question authority, war, and even society itself. His clashes with bandmates became legendary, leading to a bitter split. Yet as a solo artist, he proved his vision didn't need a band to carry it. Decades later, his massive tours still blend spectacle with provocation, confronting audiences with both beauty and discomfort. In 2025, Roger Waters stands as one of rock's most uncompromising figures, defiant, outspoken, and unafraid to use the stage as a weapon of truth. Number 8 is Eric Clapton. Born in 1945, the man once worshipped with the phrase, "Clapton is God." Rising through the Yardbirds, Cream, and Derek and the Dominos, he became one of the most influential guitarists of all time. His solos weren't just notes, they were conversations of pain, joy, and longing. Layla, Wonderful Tonight, and Tears in Heaven proved how deeply music could cut into the soul. But Clapton's journey was marked by demons. He fought heroin, alcohol, and devastating personal tragedy, battles that nearly destroyed him. Yet he turned that pain into timeless songs, his guitar forever carrying the weight of survival. In 2025, even as health issues slow him, Clapton still performs. Each note reminds us of the thin line between despair and beauty and how one man turned his struggles into an eternal legacy. Number 7 is Ozzy Osbourne. Born in 1948, forever known as the Prince of Darkness. As the frontman of Black Sabbath, he helped invent heavy metal itself, his voice cutting through tracks like Paranoid and Iron Man with a chilling power that defined a genre. Offstage, Ozzy's life became legend for its chaos, drug binges, arrests, and the infamous moment when he bit the head off a bat. His wild reality show only cemented his image as both shocking and strangely endearing. Many thought his excesses would kill him long ago, but Ozzy refused to fall. Even after his Parkinson's diagnosis and a string of health scares, he has continued to record and fight his way back to the stage. In 2025, he remains a survivor beyond reason, a man who turned madness into music and still embodies the dangerous, untamed heart of rock and roll. Number 6 is Elton John, born in 1947. The flamboyant superstar who turned rock into pure spectacle. From the moment he stepped on stage in glittering suits and oversized glasses, he became a larger-than-life figure. But behind the sequence was a master songwriter, with timeless hits like Rocket Man, Tiny Dancer, and Your Song that blended raw emotion with dazzling showmanship. His life, however, was never as glamorous as it looked. Elton battled addiction, loneliness, and the crushing weight of fame. At times, it nearly consumed him. Yet he fought back, rebuilding his life and becoming a leading advocate for AIDS awareness, using his fame for something far bigger than himself. After a farewell tour that spanned the globe, he finally stepped away from the road. And still, in 2025, Elton John's music is everywhere, a reminder that some voices don't fade, they echo forever. For some legends, the stage isn't just passion, it's survival. Years of wild living, lawsuits, and broken contracts left debts only constant touring could cover. Yet once the spotlight hits, necessity turns into fire, and the music takes over again. And here's the question that keeps fans watching. If these artists refuse to quit even when life tried to break them, what could possibly stop the top 5? Number 5 is Ronnie Wood, born in 1947, the ever-smiling guitarist of the Rolling Stones. He joined the band in the mid-1970 seconds and quickly became the perfect partner to Keith Richards, their twin guitar attack fueling the swagger of rock's most enduring group. Wood's life, though, was far from easy. He battled addictions, survived turbulent relationships, and even fought cancer more than once. Yet every time, he came back with the same grin, guitar in hand, ready to light up the stage. In 2025, Ronnie Wood is proof that resilience can be loud, joyful, and unforgettable. Against all odds, he still plays with the same fire that once defined rock and roll's golden age. Number 4 is Keith Richards, born in 1943, the riff machine and indestructible soul of the Rolling Stones. His guitar work powered anthems like Satisfaction, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Start Me Up, cementing him as one of the greatest rhythm players in history. But Richards' legend is built on more than riffs. His lifestyle of excess drugs, arrests, near-death experiences made him the ultimate rock outlaw. For decades, people joked that when the world ends, only cockroaches and Keith Richards will remain. And somehow, he's lived up to it. In 2025, Richards still walks on stage, guitar slung low, grin wide, proving that some legends don't just survive, they become immortal. Number 3 is Mick Jagger, born in 1943, the electrifying frontman of the Rolling Stones. With his snake-hip strut, boundless energy, and undeniable charisma, Jagger turned rock performance into pure spectacle. Songs like Painted Black, Sympathy for the Devil, and Angie became not just hits, but cultural milestones with Jagger at their core. Even after heart surgery and decades of relentless touring, he still sprints across stages in his 80s, leaving younger performers struggling to keep up. His stamina defies time. His presence refuses to fade. In 2025, Mick Jagger remains the ultimate showman, a living reminder that rock and roll was never meant to grow old, and somehow, neither has he. Number 2 is Ringo Starr, born in 1940, the steady heartbeat of the Beatles. His drumming style was simple but unforgettable, giving life to classics like Come Together and A Day in the Life. More than just a drummer, his charm shone through in songs like with a little help from my friends and Octopus's Garden, where his warmth became part of the Beatles' magic. After the band's breakup, Ringo carved out a solo career and formed the All-Star Band, bringing together musicians from across generations. His motto of peace and love became more than a slogan, it became his identity. In 2025, at 84 years old, Ringo still tours the world, smiling, drumming, and spreading joy. He remains proof that rock and roll isn't only about rebellion, it can also be about happiness, unity, and hope. Number 1 is Paul McCartney. Born in 1942, the eternal heart of the Beatles. Alongside John Lennon, he created one of the greatest songwriting duos in history, crafting melodies that the world still sings. Yesterday, Hey Jude, Let It Be. McCartney's gift was always his ability to make the personal universal, writing songs that felt like they belonged to everyone. After the Beatles, he soared with wings and built a solo career that spanned decades, filling stadiums and reinventing himself again and again. Even in his 80s, he still takes the stage, bass slung low, smiling as entire crowds sing every word back to him. In 2025, Paul McCartney is more than a survivor. He is living history, the last Beatle still touring the globe, reminding us that music is eternal, and so is his legacy. 18 names. 18 stories of survival, reinvention, and endurance. These aren't just musicians, they are living monuments to an era that changed the world. From stadiums still roaring with their voices to quiet lives lived in the shadows, each one carries a reminder of what music means. Connection, memory, and resilience. When Paul McCartney sings Let It Be, when Mick Jagger struts across the stage, when Elton John's piano fills an arena, we don't just hear songs, we hear decades of our own lives reflected back at us. In 2025, these legends remind us of a simple truth. Rock and roll is not just history, it is alive. It is here. And as long as their voices endure, the heartbeat of a generation will never fade.